Hello, everyone. Welcome to Two Buds One Podcast, episode 41. I am your host, the Tech Jelly, with my co-host, Alchem Games. Alchem, a lot of stuff has
Yeah.
been happening. Tons of stuff has been happening. So much so that I actually, during the pre-show today, I actually had to cut stories out because I was like, I don't want this podcast to last for 7 hours. I don't think my voice can handle that. I'd like to
That would
talk
be
to you.
wise.
I'd like to talk to you for 7 hours, Alchem, but I might die. So
Yeah,
I
me too.
figured the best way to start this podcast off, I feel like, is to talk about the big hit. Like, everyone's playing it. I'm playing it. You're playing it. We played the beta together. Monster Hunter Wilds has popped off. And I don't think anyone's surprised that the game's amazing, but, like, I'm surprised how successful it's been on PC. Because I don't know, have you seen the numbers?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
1.3 million people on Steam day one.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy numbers. I think it was like it was in the top 10 most played games of Steam of all time. Like, it's insane numbers. And to be fair, the game is amazing. I've only played a little bit of it. I'm sure you've played way more than I have. I've played I've played only 3 hours of it. I've only played 3 hours, but that 3 hours has been amazing. I'm still going through the story because I've been taking it a little slow. Because it's also a game I can't do anything. Monster Hunter, at least, I don't know about you, but Monster Hunter is a game for me that I can't have anything else to do. Like, I can't watch a video or, listen to something while playing Monster Hunter. I get too distracted. So,
I get that.
so it's a game that I'm just like only playing. And I streamed it for a bit. It was the first time I streamed in a long time, actually. So
Go back to it.
how have you been liking it?
I've been loving it. I have been enjoying the gameplay. I've been enjoying the story. I from beginning to end, there was just moments that just got me to laugh, got me like all like focused on the story. There was I'll say, I think I jokingly made my character have a very deep, echoey voice as a joke because I knew everyone was going to do high pitched voice because that's the goofiest thing you could do. So I made mine like very dark, very like deep and everything. And it sounded echoey and it looked really bad or it looked off when he talked when you saw his mouth moving and it sounded like that.
Well, all the lip
But
honestly, all the lip sync in the game is awful.
Yeah.
Like,
but then I gave him a helmet. Then I gave him a helmet and it just suited him and it actually like started to fit in with the story more. And one of the final lines he had I don't know why it just seemed so epic at that point. But that's what I mean. Like, there are moments where like I got way too invested, way too interested, or I just got laughing and everything. I loved every moment of it.
Yeah, it's great. It's great, honestly. What you're using Sword and Shield, right? Mostly.
Mm-hmm.
What are you using your secondary? Or are you just pure Sword and Shield right now?
I was pure sword and shield at the beginning because I just wanted to power through.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But now I'm swapping over to my charge blade.
Nice.
And also because I just fell in love with my character and how he looked, so I ended up not really changing much of mine. Not even the clothes; it just stayed because the clothes it had from the beginning that I chose and the color scheme just worked so well for him.
Yeah, so and you can make it so your armor, it's like a transmog system, right? So.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you're changing armors, you can still look the same.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know. I loved it and I was happy. But I loved every moment, and I'm still enjoying it now. Post story.
I've heard a lot. Yeah, I've heard that like this game is, or at least for the Monster Hunter veterans that I have seen talk about it, because I guess I should say you are. At least us two comparatively, you are the Monster Hunter person way compared to me. I have only ever played Worlds, Monster Hunter World, and I didn't really play a lot of Monster Hunter World, honestly. Unfortunately for me, Monster Hunter World is a game that I don't like playing because of things outside of the game. So it was just weird, and I had to delete my entire character, and I just never bothered starting over. So Wilds for me is really just like it's honestly it's like the first Monster Hunter game again because I've taken such a long break from Monster Hunter and I never played the other ones. And it's so interesting to see because I've seen all the Monster Hunter veterans talk about how that they've seemingly finally got the multiplayer right for Monster Hunter because everyone's saying like the multiplayer lobbies are made for endgame. Like they're made so you can just constantly do endgame stuff and do the grind once you beat the story, which makes sense because that's how most multiplayer lobbies in Monster Hunter are being used for. Most people play through the story by themselves and then start grinding out monsters with friends when they want to get the coolest gear and get to the higher tier monsters and stuff, which is understandable. Because I mean, I'm probably going to play through the entire story by myself because that's just probably how I want to play it. And I've found my one true love, the hammer. So I go bonk things and then I start bonking and then I never stop bonking. And then I keep bonking.
Yeah, they really the system is so good because you can join a random public lobby if you want to, and even if you do join random public lobbies, you can still do everything all on your own. You don't need people to pop in unless you want to make it available for others to join in. Heck, if you just want to do the whole thing solo, you just join a private lobby that's your own, and if you have a group of people, like say a friend group or a Discord group, or hell, even for like small creators like me or large creators, I guess you can also do just create a squad and just have people join your squad, be in a squad lobby, and just come and go, and people join in with you if they'd like to.
Yep, it's great. Honestly, it's great.
And the cool thing about the squad thing is you can have more than one, so you're not like dedicated to one thing and just stuck there, and you can't just like you can hop around whenever the heck you want.
Yeah. What is your favorite change in Wilds?
Change of the wild system?
Because I know mine, but I'm going from Worlds or Monster Hunter World to Monster Hunter Wilds, and I know I missed what was the one in between? Rise. So I missed that one. So my favorite change from World to Wilds is the mount, which I think was in Rise, if I remember correctly. But like, it is amazing. It speeds up the travel so much.
I think everyone loves the secret.
They're great.
I think one of the things I think I don't remember because it's been so long since I played Rise. I don't think that the Palamuts had an auto run thing where you could target something across a map and it had an auto run path on its own.
Were the Palamuts the mounts in that game?
Yep. And the secrets in Wilds, they do. You literally can just go on the map.
Yeah.
If there's a monster you want to get, or if there's an ingredient or some kind of thing on the map that you want to get, you set a waypoint to it, and you just get on your secret, and your secret starts going. You do whatever the heck you want along the way. Look around, gather material if you want. There's even like a nice little way where on the left of your screen where it notifies you where you see items and stuff.
Yeah.
You can just basically pick and choose the stuff you want to collect, and it starts insta collecting it along the way.
Yeah, it's great.
You can even just
equip your grappling hook thing and just grab the stuff you want if you want to with your grappling hook. It's great.
There's so many changes that have been made that are really nice.
Yeah.
For instance, I do miss it. I do miss the animations, what they do with the where they had a palico cooking your food and stuff.
I noticed that it's now just you're in your tent, but it's also because you can do it everywhere.
That's
like you can do it anywhere. So like you can just cook a full meal. You just put
down a grill, cook the full meal, get the benefits of the meal, and or cook yourself rations and just get the bonus of the buff of the health and stamina.
And some defense, to be fair, as well.
Yeah. Yep. And there you go. Which is really nice. It's really convenient. I do, like I said,
I do wish there was just like, give us one of the palicos cooking. Like, even if it's just in a cutscene. I kind of wish that. Though, I must say, since I'm in the beginning of the story, I haven't even got to the forest yet. in the story, so I'm like super not into it yet. But the when you save the support team and the three palicos refuse to put down the meat.
Oh yeah, they refused to put the meat. They're like, "Where'd that meat go? I wanted that."
Yeah, it's so funny.
Yeah,
And
I love that. There are moments like that, and like I said, there's stuff that just makes you laugh and makes you chuckle,
oh yeah,
and I
I
love it. It's
I
a
have
nice.
heard that. So have you beaten the story?
Yes.
So okay, so no spoilers, but did you like the story? I've heard a lot of people were not a huge fan of the story. A lot of people
Really?
didn't like the cutscene. I've seen some people be disappointed with the cutscenes in the story.
Mm, in what regard, though? Since is it you're
I,
coming
f-
with this?
I
What do they
feel
mention?
I think it's because a lot of these, at least the people that I've been seeing that have been disappointed with it, were expecting like an RPG, and Monster Hunter is not an RPG. Like it's a very light-hearted story.
Never was.
I think it's just because I don't know. I think it's because they're expecting more, maybe, or maybe it's just a bad expectation. Because like the Monster Hunter games have never been exactly known for their stories. I never think that the writing has been that bad, but there hasn't been a
No.
lot of like the writing has always just been there for
Yeah.
a reason to
To
hunt
get the plot
monsters.
moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, the writing of the story. The story is literally just an excuse to go to different locations and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, to
That
be
was
fair,
it.
there is more of a story in this one with the whole child and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I do remember the worlds, Monster Hunter World story, and it was basically non-existent. Like, let's be honest, it was basically
No,
non-existent. Like, there was a
we
story,
were just
but like
discovering the new
you were
world,
it was like go over here, go over there, fight these
yeah.
monsters.
Hey,
Yeah,
Hunter, go over here. Yeah.
yeah. And this one
And
does have seem to have more story.
yeah, there is a story. There is more reasons why you're going around,
Yeah,
and the plot picks up as soon as certain actions happen, and then you
yeah,
find out more and more about what's going on,
which makes sense.
which is great actually. And they do explain some of the goings on about this new location, why
Yeah,
it's the way it is, and
I
I liked it. I actually liked it. I don't know why people or where the idea of that the cutscenes were bad or the story was bad. I thought
I mean,
for
I think
one,
it's because it's just basic, and people are expecting more than that. But like, that's what the Monster
you
Hunter
know
games
what?
are not.
I'll give you that. I'll
Yeah,
give you
it's a
that. I
basic
can
story.
understand.
I think they're
I will
expecting more.
understand. Yeah, I think they wanted something more grandiose. I think they were expect. It's not. Monster Hunter isn't one of those games where each and every next entry in the series gets more intense, or there's
Yeah,
like a monster that will put everything in danger, that will like destroy the lives of the world or anything. It's not gonna. It's not the stakes aren't going to get like universally huge or something. I don't know. They're expecting like the stakes to get higher or
yeah.
something. But
There's no Thanos snap happening here.
yeah, it's not. We're not going.
Everything is go happy go lucky. Now, to be fair, like there is it's still a mature game, but like
Yeah.
there's still sad themes and stuff like that. But
Mm-hmm.
it's like
It's
it's a still
I.
it's not a dark fantasy game, you know?
Yeah. No. For what it is, it's like it's what it always has been. You are a hunter. This world is full of monsters. You go out and hunt them.
Yeah,
That's it. It's very simple. There is a plot to something that leads you to new
yeah,
locations, new discoveries, and everything. But bare bones, that's what it is. You're the hunter. You have a selection of weapons to go master and use. There's a plethora of monsters out there to
yeah.
fight.
The one
Go
sad
have
thing
fun and
for me,
enjoy.
yeah, the one sad thing for me is there's been multiple times where I've saw a monster because I'm so early in the story. I've
Mhm.
seen a monster, punched it, and the game's told me I don't have authority to kill it yet. I'm like,
Yeah.
ah, but it's
You
I'm
can
like,
still fight it and gather. You can gather the items from carving it up,
yeah,
but you won't get any like quests. No quests will begin. You won't
yeah,
get
yeah,
additional reward from the guild for it.
yeah. So yeah, so I've decided for at least me, I'm not gonna rush the story, but I don't think I think I'm not going to grind anything during the story. You know what I mean? I think I'm just gonna
Interesting.
go through the story, and if like if it like unless I get like stomped or like if I hit a wall, I'm not gonna do any grinding. I'm just gonna go to mission, do the. I'm still gonna do the optional quests during the missions because I do like those. Though I. Okay, wait, Alchem.
Right.
Oh,
Yep.
you play on controller, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I had a hilarious moment during my first launch of the game when I streamed it because I played mostly on stream and slightly off of stream. So the first time I played it was on stream. I was playing the game and I was like, and we're doing because I like I said I'm a very relatively new person to Monster Hunter. I was like, yeah, give me all the tutorials, every tutorial, just tell me all the things, because I don't really know the
Yeah.
mechanics of Monster Hunter really. So as the game was going off, it's the when you do the lock on mode, not the lock on mode, sorry, the for the
Focus
to
mode.
see the focus mode to see the wounds,
Yeah.
right?
What
It
did you
told
do?
me a button that I don't have
Yeah.
because it gives you
Telling you.
because it's telling me to hit a mouse side button because I'm playing on keyboard and mouse and I do not have a mouse that has side
You don't
buttons.
have a mouse. You don't have a mouse 3.
I don't have a gaming
Wait,
mouse.
no.
I have a regular mouse.
Wait, mouse 3 usually like
No,
the
it's
scroll
not.
wheel to push down. So it told you
Yes,
to do some other.
it was basically mouse 4, but it like I didn't know what the icon meant. And I was like, what the heck is this icon? And I'm like, I know what keyboard and mouse icons are. And I'm like, what the heck is this icon? So I beat the first boss, like I beat the Toad without using focus mode because I couldn't turn it on. I didn't know how to turn it on.
I'll be honest with you.
I mean, it's not it's
don't.
not necessarily needed, but it's interesting because but the thing is the tutorial was there the whole time telling me to use it. I was like, I don't know what button that is, and then I looked in the settings, and then I had to
just telling you.
yeah, and then I had to look it up because like I couldn't tell what this button was, and I like during stream I was like I had to Google what this button is, and literally as I typed in Monster Hunter, it auto-filled Monster Hunter keyboard controls. Like everyone's having this problem because not everyone has a mouse that has side buttons. And then I found out that the second, which is weird because I feel like they need to do something about this because it defaults to that mouse button, but Alt is how you turn on the focus mode without a mouse. Like it has that as a secondary button. So I don't know why that should definitely be the default. And if you have a mouse button, it should be allow you to do that. But during the tutorial, it just assumes you have a mouse that has that button. It's very funny.
Like, what do you mean you don't have a mouse with side buttons?
I know,
Don't you play
right?
games?
Yeah.
When do you use your computer for office reports?
It was very funny. And okay, I've watched you play, so I know it's not too bad. But how has performance been for you? Because this game, I think the biggest criticism for basically everyone is that this PC port runs so bad for so many people.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm running it on my new PC, which has a what's that
4090 or 4070? Yeah, I have the 4070 Ti, I think.
Yeah, I think I got that one too.
I don't know if it's a Ti. It's a 4070 something.
I've not run into any issues. I've not had the only issue I've had is that it randomly crashes on me.
Yeah.
And that's
I haven't had it crash on me, but I've only played for 3 hours,
so yeah,
I would say that I have a 4070 as well. Like you and I have pretty beefy computers, but
I have the i7 4070, so but I've not had it where it crashed on me, so
I thought you said it did crash on you.
Oh wait, no, I mean where it chugged on me. On me.
Yeah. So okay.
I will say there has been some weird issues where either some shader issues or some polygon issues because there are moments where if I looked in certain directions,
things wouldn't load in fast enough.
Yeah. No, not that they didn't load in. It's like you've had those issues in like some games where you suddenly see like a patch of black or a patch of some texture stretching out over the horizon or like
Oh
kind of like
yeah,
jumping around.
yeah. It's like
That
when the
happens.
in Helldivers 2, when a corpse stretches.
Exactly. Exactly. You just see a
Yeah,
texture
it's
just
a
for no
Tetris
reason,
strips.
just
Yeah.
stretch. Yep. And that's the only bug I've ever noticed. Game wise, I haven't had an issue where a monster doesn't function. I've had moments where maybe it tells me to do something and something disappeared, but it's because either like I scared it off or
Yeah,
it
yeah.
ran off. But other than the hard crashes, I've not run into any issues with the performance. But I've seen people just constantly
Yeah.
comment about it, so it's got to be. It does need to be addressed
It
if
does
that
need to
is
be
happening to
addressed.
people.
My biggest thing is Alchem. So I don't know. Do you have FPS counters when you're playing?
I don't normally have them on when I'm playing. No.
So I've noticed, and I don't know. The PC community might kill me for this. This game does not run at 60. I'm running at all medium settings with a 40 70, and I get 40 to 50, right?
Oh,
I
damn.
don't notice the difference for Monster Hunter. And I think it's because it's a weird game. I think Monster Hunter, first of all, this game was originally made for 3DS, so the games have never been that good when it comes to FPS performance. So it feels like this game is one of those weird games where if it was under 30, I would definitely feel it. But the fact that I am at a consistent frame rate,
No.
it feels fine to me. Because when I'm playing, I have an FPS counter at the top left of my screen and I can see it. And I'm like, this game is running at 40 FPS or 50 FPS, but it doesn't feel like it's running at 40 FPS or 50 FPS, which is weird to me. But it might be just because the game itself is like, it's not like you need reflex. Obviously, reflexes is good for dodging and stuff like that, but or blocking. But like, this isn't a Twitch shooter, like you don't need
No.
144 millisecond response time. So I feel like it's just, I'm still saying that they definitely need to work on performance, but to me, for me
No doubt.
personally, it feels it's like Monster Hunter Wilds is so weird to me because it's a game that I see I'm not running at 60 FPS, but it doesn't feel bad. Like there are games that run at not 60 FPS and I can feel it. Like it feels like it's not at 60 FPS. But Monster Hunter for me has not felt like that, which is a little strange. And just interesting, honestly, just an interesting fact. What graphic settings are you on?
Uh, I okay. So not only do I have it on the high settings already,
Okay.
I went into the extra stuff
You
because there's a
downloaded
little palette code that lets.
the texture packs.
Yeah, I downloaded the texture packs. I wanted to see can my PC handle, and it seems like it is. I make sure I have it all set up.
I mean,
but it looks like it can.
are you using your 3D model when you're streaming this game? I don't think I've ever seen you. Wait, no, yes, you have. So you're using your 3D
But
model.
it's
Well, wait.
the game is being played on on the
Oh,
one
right, you have a
PC.
two
The
PC
3D
setup,
model is
right?
on the other PC. Yeah,
I forgot. You're
yeah.
fancy. You're fancy.
Otherwise, my poor PC, that old PC would have blown the hell up a lot.
Oh yeah, true. I mean, to be fair, when I'm playing the game, I'm on a one PC setup, and I was streaming it, and I was fine. I never OBS never said I dropped frames. The game itself felt fine. I was never complaining about lag or anything like that. I was complaining about my skill level, but that's a skill issue.
That's eventually you learn. I mean, I'll be honest. I just learned a new move with my class, so I was like, "Oh my god, how did I not know this?" Got it. And
Yeah,
I just
it
don't
took
use
me
it.
a
Now
good
that
hour to figure out how to charge with the hammer, because I think
Oh.
one of the big skills I feel like with the hammer is being able to recover from when you miss, because like the I mean, it's just like any weapon, I feel like, but the hammer, because it's such a heavy weapon, it probably is a little more punishing. But when you miss with the hammer, it takes so long for you to recover.
I mean,
Um,
the build up for the hammer swing is huge.
yeah, but the thing
Uh,
is, you can combo any move into a charge. So you can, and the charge move is you moving slowly, but you're also like charging up like a big swing as you're running.
yeah.
So like you can also make it so you can use that to maneuver yourself into a better swinging position, which is interesting. And yeah, it's just an enjoyable game, even for me who has been. Oh, I've only, like I said, I've only played 3 hours. I've barely gotten out of the tutorial, basically. You know, though I do have to say I did waste a bunch of time because I forgot I was in the tutorial and I was trying to figure out how to cook a meal. And I haven't unlocked it yet and I didn't realize. So I spent like 10 minutes walking around the camp. I was like, I swear to God, I remember being able to cook a meal in the tent. Why can't I do this? And I walked around the camp, like the campsite, for like maybe 5 to 10 minutes trying to figure out why I couldn't cook a meal. And then literally during the mission, uh after that mission I unlocked cooking a meal. It like tells you to eat a meal, or like it does the whole tutorialization thing. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot I was still in the tutorial. I probably should have just continued playing. Honestly, that's one of the reasons I said, you know what, I think I'm playing this game not wrong, but like I need to just play the missions. I need to realize that this is the full game. Just play the missions, things will unlock as they need to. I've also heard that people thought the game was too easy, but then they beat the story and then never played anything, never fought the higher tier challenges when
I was about to
the
be like,
monsters are
excuse me,
higher difficulty.
there's
Like
more
they beat the
monsters.
story and they said this game's too easy. I'm like, I don't think you guys understand Monster Hunter, but it's also like
Yeah.
it's one of those things where if you don't like progression systems of I've been ever since this game I ever started talking about this game, because I've talked about it in videos as well. I don't like using the word grind because for me a grindy game is a bad thing. You know what I mean? Like a
Mhm.
grind is bad in my opinion. But I don't know how else to describe it. So I'm gonna use it until I figure out something. But Monster, if you don't like grinds or progression systems or gradual, small, incremental upgrades, this is not your game. Like
No,
Monster Hunter hasn't
I
changed
mean,
that. Like there are different things between the different Monster Hunter games, but the
the,
overarching goal of each Monster Hunter game is you kill that monster 400 times so you can get the
the
perfect armor
thing,
set and
the thing
weapon.
is, one of the things is, so Monster Hunter literally, they kind of just nailed down an enjoyable grind. Like
They
most, I understand there
they
are people
really
who don't
nailed the
like
gameplay
games
loop.
that do grind fest
Yeah.
stuff, but the point of Monster Hunter is to hunt monsters.
Yeah.
So, and what do you get from monsters? You get material which you use to get better gear,
So you can fight bigger
or better
monsters.
armor and weapons, armor, weapons, and that stuff. So if you want to get better gear and look the look you want, or get the stats you want, you have to fight the monsters, which is fun.
Yeah.
And thus, it's like you're continuously doing a cycle of enjoyment, because
Yes, the gameplay loop.
you get the joy of enjoyment for fighting the monsters, which is the core concept, the core of the game, and then you get rewarded by getting all these neat materials that you can use to create the items you want, which lets you further enjoy fighting the monsters.
Actually, you know
So
what?
it's just
Speaking of that,
perpetually just fun.
speaking of that,
Like
Alchem,
if
I
that's
have a
not your
question.
game, then that's different.
As a
Yeah.
person that knows more than Monster Hunter than I do, one of the problems I remember having with Monster Hunter Worlds is that I felt that I should never kill the monsters. I should always capture them. Is that true? Do you get more stuff by capturing them than killing them?
So previous installments like Rise said, did this whole thing where killing monsters get you specific items, capturing monsters get you specific items. I
Okay.
think it's now they went back to what World did, where killing and capturing get you still the chances of getting the same items.
Oh, so then there's no
But I
real
think
difference?
there's no real difference in, but you do get more from capturing them. You still get more from capturing them.
Because I always had that kind of problem. Because I want to kill them, but you really should capture them.
Yeah, I honestly don't feel like it's like a giant difference because honestly, if you're doing quest stuff for them, then you will get a lot of quest rewards for some of these kills.
It's true.
You're fine.
Yeah.
So I've been.
I mean,
and usually I just kill the monsters anyway. And I've so far I've not run into any situation where I build specific armors that I wanted. Only if it's like the start. If only once I start getting to the high tier stuff, because then it needs a rare drop, which even if I'm choosing to capture, still gonna
you still have to
drop anyway.
Yeah, you still have to do it tens of times anyway.
Yep. Unless you're really freaking lucky and just get that one good drop.
Yeah. So funny enough, Alchem, I don't think you actually answered the question I originally. To be fair, I derailed, you derailed, and I derailed. What is your favorite new feature in Monster Hunter Wilds? I don't think.
I'll be honest. The secret is nice. The cooking mechanic where you can just cook around is nice. Let's see. Any new features? New features. Well, I mean, the combat system is really cool. I like what they do. Let's see. I do love that you now can just grab your items on the go. Oh, the portable camp system is nice too.
Oh,
you just place camps wherever you like.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, I like that.
I haven't got to that part yet, but I know you can do that.
Let's see. There's so much that I will say the secret so far has been one of my favorite additions to the thing. I think that's become one of the best and most. That's like I think so far everyone likes it, and also. I'm not gonna lie. One of the other things that one of the reasons why I say that is because I freaking adore the little. You've been to the village, right?
Yes.
Not the main camp, but the village.
Yes, the one with the chimes, right?
With the chimes. Yeah, with the
the baby ones. The baby ones are super cute.
Yeah. That's what the little baby ones. I freaking adore them, and I like the second I knock one over, I was like, oh no. Oh, you poor little child. I couldn't help it. They're just too damn adorable.
Yeah.
I felt like a monster when I knocked one over, and then from that point on, I was like, I'm never walking into one of them again.
You are a monster, a monster hunter.
The secrets,
roll credits.
I say, are one of the best parts of this.
I think is definitely the best new addition, and I feel like it's just one of those Monster Hunter to me. Even though I've never played the older games, but watching the older games and stuff like that, it's just like the perfect example of slow and methodical, iterative design choices. Like the overarching goal of all the Monster Hunter games have basically been the same since day one, but the mechanics around everything and how you do it and where you do it and all that type of stuff has been slowly become perfected. Now, obviously, I don't think Monster Hunter Wilds is a perfect game. Everything can be improved. But, like, honestly, even I say that, I don't think there's the only thing I could think about complaining is it does feel like sometimes I'm fighting the movement system when I'm on the mount. Like, it wants to move somewhere else and I'm trying to go somewhere else. You know? Sometimes it does feel like I'm kind of sometimes fighting it, or like it wants to go fast. I'm trying to just,
just stop it from running because it auto goes to your waypoint. For the objective.
So that might just that's partly a skill issue, but even when I know I'm not doing the auto run, sometimes it feels weird to grab stuff off of it. Like when you're trying to pick up the items, sometimes it's a little awkward. But I
know that.
Yeah, it's a little awkward, especially if you're trying to mine ores. Holy cow, that's super awkward sometimes.
Yeah. When that happens, just turn off auto run. Just basically press the button to stop. You control.
No, even when auto run isn't on, I'm saying. Like sometimes it's still a little awkward.
Exactly what it is.
It's still. I'm not saying.
It's during those like mini cutscenes where you're walking around, right? And they're talking to you while you're moving to an objective.
It's like I do honestly during those. I don't even bother. I equip my what's it called? I auto I auto follow them for the cinematic experience and listen to their conversations as I grab every item with my grappling hook in range. And I just kind of like what I'm talking about is I've the first mission where you're supposed to do, it's an optional objective where you do the first survey, your first like survey mission. I was walking around grabbing the ore deposits, and for some reason, what are they called? Secret? They're called secret, right?
Yes. Yeah,
The secret would not stop like going past the um items and deposits. It could be because I'm, like I said, I'm only 3 hours in, so I'm still grappling with the controls. Also, I think they've improved it a lot, but I am on keyboard and mouse, I should say. I'm not using a controller, and this game is obviously made with the controller in mind. Though I will say the keyboard and mouse controls are actually very good. I haven't had to fight the controls at all. The only thing I would say is that it's slightly annoying to use what's the thing on your arm called?
Oh,
I don't know what it's called. The thing that you shoot the things with.
Yeah.
Middle mouse is a little, the way you shoot with it is middle mouse, and it's a little awkward sometimes. Using middle mouse constantly to shoot with that. Other than that, I don't think I've had too much problems with the keyboard and mouse controls, other than when I'm using the secret, not during combat, when I'm trying to find like items and stuff. But that's also because I think, partly because I'm not entirely sure when and when not auto run is turned off, or the auto sent follow thing to my next waypoint. Sometimes I think it's because I don't realize it's off and or it's on and I'm trying to go to some point and it's trying to go the other way. So that's my fault. That's not the game's fault. But I do feel like sometimes, I don't know, it feels weird to say it, but sometimes I feel like they're too fast and I'm like, oh, I passed something, and it's like, I don't know. Like I said, it's probably like 80 to 90% skill issue right now. And I'll probably be, once I'm 10 to 20 hours in plus, it won't be a problem anymore. But it does feel weird in the initial hours that I've played. But once again, I do feel like it's probably me just not being used to it. And yeah, I think it's just more of a me problem and not being used to the mechanics yet.
I mean, you'll get used to it once you play more and more of it.
Yeah, most likely.
Get accustomed to the motion, get accustomed to your button controls. Also, I gotta remember there are some things I gotta check in the settings for ease of life, for quality of life gameplay.
Being able to use your whetstone on your Scarret is amazing.
Oh yeah, I love that. I love that you can do that with healing potions, with rations, with your wets. Oh yeah, definitely with the whetstone.
The whetstone, honestly, the whetstone is like that. That was like the best thing ever. When I realized you can do that. To be fair, I realized you could do that during the beta, but like even during the regular game, it's like, oh my god, this is amazing. I do miss being able to control your palico. You used to be able to I remember being able to control your palico in World. Or give it orders to heal you and stuff like that. I could be misremembering, but I remember being able to do that in Monster Hunter World. But maybe I'm forgetting something.
Wait, just to make sure, because I think I misheard you. What did you say you could do?
I remember being able to, it was in your items that you could call for your palico to heal you and stuff like that.
Yeah, you could. There were some skills that you could do.
And you can't do that. At least I can't figure out how to do it. Maybe it's unlocked.
As far as I've seen,
I don't think you can.
I don't think you can anymore. He just does it on its own now. It's their judgment that does it.
And I do miss that. I do miss that. Because sometimes I'd rather have them heal me to top me off than when I'm only at low. Because I'd rather them do that so I don't have to do the potion animation. But I think that's more of like a personal preference, I would say. I mean, as long as it's not like, honestly, the palicos are never that big of a deal anyway, honestly. I'm sure. But it's still nice. I do like. Okay, I the Palico voices. That's new, right? Them being able to speak regular
Yeah,
language,
that's definitely new. Now they're able to speak English or whatever
or
language you
or
wish to
it's they're.
use.
I feel like it's technically they're speaking feline, but it's technically
They're still, but
they're
yeah,
still
it's
they're
translated
speaking
to English.
feline, but everyone knows what they're saying.
Yeah. Thankfully, you can swap it, which I did because I just
Really, I can't.
got
I
the.
honestly, I turned the voices on. I wanted
You
them
did?
because I can't. I told you
It's
it takes
probably
it. I want to know what they're
yeah.
saying to me. I can't read the subtitles and play the game at the same time. Sometimes it's hard for me.
Yeah, 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 you mentioned that.
Uh, especially when I'm streaming too, because I don't because I'm paying attention to multiple things. So I want
You
to be
hear
able.
that? He doesn't read chat. He focuses too much on the game.
It's true, but no one was chatting anyway, so it doesn't matter. Only
Yeah,
bots exist.
they were too good. Tell me about it. Jesus. Good lord. Twitch may need to look into that again because I swear to God.
It does
With
seem.
Monster Hunter?
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's probably just because it
It's
was
the
a
most
popular
popular game.
category. It was a
Yeah,
popular category,
that's
so
what I
they
think.
probably, yeah. But yeah, so that's Monster Hunter Wilds. It's crazy popular. I'll be playing tons of it, and honestly, I feel like this. Obviously, it's been a massive hit, but like,
Mhm.
I'm curious how how
Is it a
massive this is comparatively to the other Monster Hunters, because
is it
Monster
a
Hunter
massive
World,
hit to Capcom?
yeah,
Do they think it's a massive hit?
well, Capcom is more they're more reasonable. They're not like Square Enix. They celebrated when Resident Evil 2 sold like a couple million copies and Resident Evil 4 sold
Yeah.
like 1 million. So like they're way more realistic in their era of like
Yeah,
what they are
I
doing.
know. I really doubt they're going to be like, we
And
sold the
considering
most
how
out
it
of
was 1.3
every
million
other
players
game.
on Steam day
Yeah.
1, I can't imagine this not being a
We
success.
just they come back. Capcom's like, we just didn't sell up to expectations.
Yeah, I
We're
know,
just
right?
continuing the Monster Hunter franchise. Yeah, I
Yeah.
doubt they're gonna do it. It's
But
Capcom after all.
yeah, they're a little more reasonable and down to earth when it comes to that. But I'm curious if this has if Monster Hunter Wilds is more successful than Monster Hunter World, because Monster Hunter World was the most successful Monster Hunter game to date, and I wonder if Monster Hunter
I
Wilds has
know
beaten that
why.
game already. Like I think it
I
might have already
know.
beaten it.
I know why it's going to. It might not actually.
I mean, to be
Monster
fair, it
Hunter.
sold tons. Monster Hunter it has
Monster,
like what 5 years on it or something like that.
You're forgetting one major thing. Monster Hunter has had essentially two releases. Monster Hunter World released first on PC, not
Yeah,
PC, on console, and then over a year later, released on PC.
yeah,
And what's funny is a lot of people. This was during the era where a lot of people jumped ship from console to PC.
yeah,
And so a lot of people jumping ship and everything, and now joining their friends who are now that it's swapped over to PC, got it, and some people, me included, because I did too, got themselves another copy of it.
yeah. I don't. Well, I
And
mean,
joined
I
their
don't
friends.
think the double dip, like the amount of people that I don't think that's like I don't think that's such a significant part of the audience that would be in the matter of the bigger scale. I'm sure in the micro it would work. It would matter a little bit. I don't think that many people double dipped though.
No,
I
we'll
mean,
see.
1.3
We'll see.
million in on release day is insane. Because that you also gotta remember that's just people playing. That's not people who bought the game. That's just people
That is
playing.
true.
There's a
That is
lot of
true.
people
You're
that
right.
bought the game and couldn't play it right away. I know, because Twitter was there are people on Twitter very jealous and like so many emotions, but saying how many people were playing. I'm like, I'm not one of them because I have to work and
I
or
have
like
to
and
do
stuff like that,
this.
and like because
Oh,
they
tell me
couldn't
about
play until like the next day or when they got home and stuff like that. So like 1.3 is just how many people were playing. That's not how many sales.
it. True.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's
here,
gonna be
look at
interesting. It's gonna be interesting.
Gonna be gonna have to wait till You're gonna have to wait till it comes, or wait till the final sales come in, or till the final records come in.
I mean, the first 24 hours has already been done. The first week is almost done. And we're a couple days in the first week, and I'm sure Capcom will not hide the success of this game. So I'm sure we'll find out at some point.
They're definitely going to.
And I'm curious where they're gonna go from here, because obviously Worlds and Rise had DLCs, so I'm interested in what DLCs they're gonna be releasing for this game.
Yep.
And I hope there's an optimization patch. I really hope that they're figuring something out to help people run this game better, because the more people that can run this game, the better. So, yeah. Excuse me. Speaking of people that couldn't play on day one, did you hear about the palworld developers or pocketpair?
Oh yeah. I
That
chimed
they-
in on that on my
They
on my own
gave
stream about it.
their whole team a day off because a lot of people reported that they were going to feel sick on the day the game came out.
Hey, boss,
And they said,
I
you know what?
have-
Just everyone, this is a holiday. Everyone take the day off. Come back tomorrow. And honestly, that's probably the better idea. Because, like, if so many people are calling in sick, you're not going to get any work done anyway. So you might as well make it so everyone has the day off, feel good about it, get some good reps in, and okay, everyone, you've had your full day. Let's get back to work and, get into a regular schedule. It was very funny, though. Very funny. So good. So good.
No, we just. I am looking forward to whatever happens next afterwards, but
Yeah.
I still have a lot of stuff I gotta do in the game.
I mean,
anyway, Mike.
I'm not saying that because I don't think there's enough content, but it's just like the Monster Hunter games are notorious for just so much content, including the DLCs as well. So
Yeah.
it'll
So I
be
hope
interesting
that
to see.
that trend doesn't change. I hope
And I'm
they
also
are
going to
not-
see if they're going to do, like, did Monster Hunter World have free DLC and paid DLC? They had paid DLC, I know, but was there free
they had some free
DLC?
DLC.
There
They had
was
some free
some.
DLC with their crossover stuff.
Yeah, there was some. I'm curious
Like
what
the
kind of
Witcher
stuff.
crossover and
Right,
a couple
right.
of other stuff. Like
Yeah.
the Resident Evil crossover. Yeah.
Wasn't there a 2B crossover too, or am I misremembering?
I don't think they had. Maybe they did. I don't remember if they had a one with.
Maybe it was a fan. Maybe it was a fan that made 2B in the game or something like that. Because I mean, their character creators are pretty crazy. So
Yeah. That could be because I don't remember that one. I do remember the rest. Street Fighter, but that was outfits more than anything.
yeah, that was
I do remember
outfits.
the Witcher because Witcher had a monster that one of their creatures appear in the world.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who knows at this point what kind of thing they'll have? Well, they could do something with Godzilla and have some random kaiju show up.
That would be
Not
funny.
Godzilla himself, but some random kaiju.
That would be funny.
And just take on the giant lizards. But that's what I'm just looking forward to because I still have a long way to go.
Yeah. So
Yep.
to slightly move on
It's like
to a massive success in Monster Hunter World, to unfortunately a massive failure. Because have you heard about the last couple months now of Dauntless? Do you know what?
Closing up? I've heard remnants of what's happened and what is happening now about
Yeah.
them. You know.
The game is shutting down
Mhm.
on May.
Yep.
For the Dauntless devs.
Yep.
The other game they have, Fae Farm, is basically in limbo right now. No one knows what's happening with it. And
Oh,
it
I wasn't aware they had another.
really sucks because I don't know about you. I actually played Dauntless a bunch when it first came out, and I was like, man, this is really fun. And then I bought Monster Hunter World because I heard that Dauntless was a free-to-play version of that game. And then I bought Monster Hunter World, and I was like, oh man, this is so much better than Dauntless. I feel so bad. But maybe I'll come back to Dauntless at some point. And then apparently the game got really bad. And like,
Yeah.
I did come back a couple times, but the problem is the game was so weird when I came back, I was like, what is... They took out stuff.
So you're aware what they did, right?
I
You're
did.
aware what
I
happened,
did
right?
see. I did see eventually, and like they
Yeah.
got rid of stuff. And do you know who owns the Dauntless team?
I don't exactly know who specifically, but I'm aware what they are.
Yeah,
And why,
Phoenix
and
Labs.
That explains why everything became the way it was.
Yeah, Phoenix Labs, a crypto firm.
Mm-hmm.
And
the first thing they did was just...
the first thing they did was fire everyone.
The game. Yeah, they fired everyone, and then they gutted the game.
Yep. And put in like terrible microtransactions and everything.
So, for more better explanation, what I mean by gutted, everyone listening, they just took the original concept of the game. It was supposed to be to play Monster Hunter, go out, slay monsters, get items, get gear, just to do the same process.
They weren't even trying to hide it.
Yeah, they were literally just trying to be a free-to-play version of it. But once they got bought out and this crypto company got it, what they did was just change the entire core concept of the game. You're not hunting monsters to get material, to get gear. No. If you want to get better gear, if you want to get better items and armor and stuff, you have to buy it. And not just with in-game currency that you get or anything like that. No. You have to buy, like pay real money. And just to fight the monsters and stuff. And that was not... They literally took one of the key features of why you even bothered fighting the monsters, so you could get these gear to fight bigger monsters and look cool doing it. No, you just got the basic gear and the basic outfit that you had from the very beginning, and if you wanted anything more, you had to pay for it.
Well, not only that, they also took out all the gear. Yeah, they took out like the majority of the gear and the armor. Like they literally took out half the weapons.
Yeah, and also they basically, anyone who was playing it before their change, your stuff was gone. Everything was gone. Whatever you did at that point, irrelevant. So anyone who played that game, basically everyone hated the change. No one liked it, and the entire community just left.
Yeah.
Except for people who maybe came back after hearing all this stuff, and they said, "I want to see what's." They quickly came, saw, and left.
Yeah. It was very sad. It's very sad because Dauntless was a decent game.
Yeah.
And it actually had a future, but unfortunately,
it
looks like that.
They sold and...
I mean, I guess, they were bought out. Hopefully the people who sold at least got a good paycheck at least. I hope.
I hope they do. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they're slated to shut the doors
in May.
Was it that's it. I was gonna say March. I was gonna say like this month, but no, in May, Dauntless will cease to be. So, if you had it, if you ever want to see it, if you ever want to be if you ever want it to be part of a game as it shuts down completely, mark your calendars and have Dauntless. You can actually be there as the server shut down.
Yep.
You get yourself... Oh, wait, you can be like those people who record the video like the last few hours or the last minutes of Dauntless. And there you go.
Yeah. We'll see.
I'm just imagining people do that and they join in, they see the game and how bad it is, and they're like, never mind.
Yeah, I mean, the sad thing is this version of Dauntless does deserve to die. It's the old version of Dauntless that doesn't, you know?
No. But
because, like...
It's not what it is anymore.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, and Phoenix Labs are stupid, and I hope they go bankrupt. Because, I mean, they're a crypto firm. They probably will, so...
Yeah. No, I mean, most of these are like... I don't know where they come from. They just have people with funds. They don't do anything really smart with it. They expect people to just fall for whatever scheme they have, and then that's it.
They just don't understand anything they're doing. So, Alchem, unfortunately for you... This is a pretty good segue. Speaking of crypto.
No.
Speaking of crypto, Alchem.
You're a monster.
So, Alchem, a couple weeks ago, we talked about a coin. And it was totally not a pump and dump. Totally, it was legit Trump coin, Alchem. it was in fact not a pump. Don't worry about it. It's not a pump and dump.
Not a pump and dump.
It's not a pump and dump. So, Alchem, do you remember, I'll remind you, the coin at the time of launch, the Trump meme coin, was $71.62. Or, okay, $71. Right? At the time of release.
That's impressive.
Would you like to take a guess of how much it is right now?
$1?
It's not that bad.
$15?
Close. $16 as of a couple hours ago. But, Alchem, the reason I'm bringing this up, hilariously, is because this is actually on a rise. So the lowest the Trump coin ever went was $6. It was $6 US. And
oh, fucking Lord.
It is a interesting fact that literally today, this morning, Alchem, Trump truthed. I don't know. It was on Truth Social, and I just want to say, Alchem, how dedicated I am to this. I had to go onto Truth Social. I got onto Truth. I didn't make an account.
No,
but I looked at Truth Social to go through all his stupid tweet stuff, so I could find this. And this is his.
You not just call a post a truth.
I didn't. I said a tweet.
I'm hung. Okay, I could have sworn you said.
I might have said truth.
He truthed.
So he tweeted this. I'm gonna say tweet just to make fun of him. A U.S. crypto reserve will elevate this critical industries after years of corrupt attacks on the Biden administration, which is why my executive order of digital assets directed to the presidential working group to move forward on a crypto strategic reserve that involves XRP, SOL, ADA, and I'll make sure the U.S. is the crypto capital of the world. We're making America great again. You know what's hilarious, Alchem? All those crypto assets that he said.
Yeah.
None of them are his. He has crypto assets. And he's not endorsing his own. I guess technically if it was part of the strategic reserves that you wouldn't be able to do your own. But like the reason I'm bringing this up, first of all, it was hilarious. And I had to because I had to go onto Truth Social to find this. And that was a nightmare, might I say.
Yeah.
But the coin is going up constantly since he's announced that. And okay, not constantly, but it's going on a high trajectory. And he also said, and obviously BTC, ETH, as other valuable cryptocurrencies, will be all at the heart of the reserve. I also love Bitcoin and Ethereum. Alchem, what's your country doing? I'm so confused. Alchem. Your president has a meme coin and he's talking about it, and you're apparently going to have cryptocurrency in your strategic reserves. I thought the whole point of crypto was to be not a government thing.
I don't know, he's some kind of oil salesman or something. I don't know. So something about snakes and oil or something like that. He's something like that.
Alchem, I'm confused.
You're confused. I'm infuriatedly confused. I'm so confused. I'm angry. I don't even know why anymore. I don't even know what thing I should be angry or more about. I just am, and it's just every minute of every moment. If I look at the news or if I look at like media posts or something, I see something that would infuriate me, and then I see either talking points that talk about why it's wrong and things that I would agree with or at least logically see, and then things I don't agree or they skew it into a different viewpoint, and I'm just like, wait, well, how do you see it like that?
Yeah.
It hurts me. It hurts me so much that I don't wanna.
Yeah, it can be. Let me put it this way, Alchem.
It hurts.
The 30 minutes I had to be on True Social to find that, I'm a different person now. I'm a changed slime.
You seen like the viewpoints and and then you seeing it, you're like, how are you spinning it like this? How are you talking about it like this?
It's
And I'm not even talking about anything specific.
just in general, yeah. It's crazy. I mean, even here in Canada, some things are kind of crazy. The one good thing I will say, actually, no, let's not get too political here.
That's why I'm just like casually saying stuff.
Yeah, but it's so weird, Alchem, because as you know, I keep an eye on crypto because I am I am curious at as much of an arm's length as I can keep, because I don't have a crypto wallet or anything like that. I'm just very curious, and it's CoffeeZilla's fault because he's the one who introduced me to all this stuff. But I'm super curious about this like section of the internet, and the more and more I look into it, and the more and more I start looking at stuff like this, because I wish I could show you my screen right now, Alchem, but I can't because it shows too much. Like, there's just too much stuff. But like, I've been looking at like the coin market stuff, and like, so I've got like I feel like I'm a low tier stockbroker. I've got the charts, the graphs all around, like on the screen, and all that type of stuff. It's like I'm in those terrible stock market movies that they don't know what they're talking about, so they just show graphs. And it's just so weird. And I just wanted to update you on that, Alchem, because I feel like I need to. Because if I'm going to be scarred by this, you have to as well. And you can't escape me. I will tell you about this.
Time to find a new host. The old host has got tired of hearing this and left.
Do you think you leaving will save you, Alchem? I'll just tell you privately then. Like, you can't escape me.
DMs. Did you hear the news about this? I'm like, no, I got away from you.
You can't escape me, Alchem. You'll disconnect from the internet and you'll hear a knock on your door.
I thought I was free.
Luckily, Alchem, I promised you. I promise you this. That's the only crypto stuff that I have for today. Which was a super fast story. Because I just wanted
to... You have more for next time, don't you?
Don't
you son of a bitch? Don't you?
Honestly, I've got a couple things brewing, honestly. I've been keeping an eye on a couple things, which is very funny. I always do, Alchem. I always do. Anyway, I need to close this because I don't want to look at Truth Social anymore.
I feel like that meme where it's like the two ladies at the table, one of them like screaming and pointing, and you're like the little cat with that little smile on the face. Yeah.
That is me. That is me.
Yeah. It's like, you said you wouldn't talk about more than one crypto topic, and you looking back at me with
it is only one. Yeah. I've only held it to one crypto topic per episode, basically. And it's not every episode. I don't do it every episode, to be fair.
Yeah, I'm aware. It's
it's very funny.
While you with a backlog of stories and everything.
Honestly, Alchem, the backlog of stories isn't. It's more of like, I don't know. It's just like it's. Unfortunately, the good thing for you and the bad thing for like entertainment value is a lot of the stories are just the same thing, just with different names. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's a pump and dump. Who would have thought? Oh, it's a pump and dump. Who would have thought? Oh, it's a crappy NFT game. Who would have thought? Oh, it's a crap. The only reason I brought up the Ubisoft ones is because it was Ubisoft and it was so late in the game and they're just so awful. And the one that made you really sad and me really sad, the one about the show, the Ubisoft show. I can't remember what it's called now, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, Captain Laserhawk.
Yeah, that one was just like this. Because I've seen Captain Laserhawk. I'm like, what the heck is this? So, to go on from being sad about crypto, let's be sad about AAA gaming, Alchem, because that's a very good positive sector. Have you heard about the 3 studios that Warner Brothers has shut down?
Yep, Treyarch.
No,
I
no,
forget the other.
Treyarch
Not
is
Treyarch.
Treyarch is an
Not Treyarch.
Activision company.
Treyarch isn't activated. No, there. I remember. I remember it's one of the studio that made that rival. Not my rivals. Multiverses. There was another one, but I don't remember the name. I kept mistaking it for Treyarch.
The 3 studios are Monolith Productions, which are the people who made the Shadow of War games, the Lord of the Rings games.
And they'll never release that copyright. I hate them.
The copyright, what?
You know the Nemesis system.
Oh, that's patented by Warner Brothers, not Monolith.
Yeah, I know. Warner
they have that patent until 2036, if I remember correctly.
They're never letting that go.
They shut down playerfirstgames and Warner Brothers San Diego. And the Wonder Woman game, which, by the way, Alchem, the Wonder Woman game, which was using the Nemesis system, apparently, has been canceled.
And we're never gonna get that thing back.
And it really sucks because, okay, Alchem, let's put on our big CEO suits and ties. We're big CEOs of a company. I'm going to read this statement, okay? And after I read the statement, I want to say something, and I want to see if you agree with me or if, I'm going to read the statement. We have had to make some very difficult decisions to structure our development studios and investments around building the best games possible with our key franchises: Harry Potter, Mortal Kombat, DC, and Game of Thrones. After carefully consideration, we are closing 3 of our development studios: Monolith Productions, playerfirstgames, and Warner Brothers Games San Diego. This is a strategic change in direction and not a reflection of these teams or the talents that consists within them. Development of Monolith's Wonder Woman video game will not move forward. Our hope was to give players and fans the highest quality experience possible for the iconic character, and unfortunately this is no longer possible with our strategic priorities. This is another tough decision. As we recognize Monolith's storied history of developing epic fan experiences through amazing games, we greatly admire the passion of the 3 teams and thank every employee for their contributions. As difficult as today is, we remain focused on and excited about getting back to producing high-quality games for our passionate fans and developed by our world-class studios and getting our games back to profitability and growth in 2025 and beyond. Okay, now that I'm done that is the Warner Brothers statement. Monolith Productions are the people that should be making those games. Right? Every game they've released 2 games for Warner Brothers, both of them bestsellers. And who made the Harry Potter game that they made? Who made Hogwarts Legacy?
Was that Monolith?
I don't know. Okay, Hogwarts Legacy. Who made Hogwarts Legacy? Avalanche made it.
Oh, Avalanche, okay.
Let me just check. What did Avalanche make before this? Avalanche has made a bunch of the Mortal Kombat games. Oh, they made NFL Blitz for Dreamcast. Damn, okay. So before Hogwarts Legacy, they made the Disney Infinity games and the Cars games, which is hilarious. And then they made Hogwarts Legacy, which is a crazy swing. But Monolith, I can't believe they're letting this studio go, because I just can't believe it, because they have so many properties they could be using for these guys. Like the Middle Earth, Shadow of Mordor, and Shadow of War are 2 amazing games. And oh my god, they made Gotham City Imposters. I actually really loved that game when that game existed. Did you ever play that game, Alchem?
No, I never did. It looked really
It
cool.
was a
Though.
first-person
It looked like
shooter,
something
and it was honestly, it was a game I played on the 360. It was super fun in my opinion. And of course, they made the Fear games and Condemned. I actually really like Condemned as well. I'm so sad that this team is being. I'm just sad, Alchem. I can't believe, like, Monolith are the guys that should be making some of these games. I'm glad Avalanche got their try for Hogwarts Legacy, because I'm sure some of the team are happy to not be working on Disney Infinity and Cars tie-in games. Or I mean, Disney Infinity apparently was a decent game, but still, I'm. Does Warner Brothers own Lord of the Rings?
I don't.
I don't
know.
think so, right?
I don't. Yeah, that's what I was about to
I was
say.
about to say
Like,
during when they were talking about their when they were talking about their IPs, I thought they owned Lord of the Rings. What do they? Let me just. Okay, wait. Warner Bros. Do they own Lord of the Rings? I thought they did. Oh, okay. So they own the copyright of the Lord of the Rings and Hobbit films. Oh, they own their versions, but they no longer control the film rights. So basically, the Lord of the Rings property is owned by Middle Earth Enterprises, but the Lord of the Rings movies and the Hobbit films are owned by Warner Brothers. Interesting. Okay, well now that I know that, why isn't? I'm so confused why there isn't more Lord of the Rings games then, because they could just base them off the movies. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just so sad because Monolith has been working on this Wonder Woman game since basically 2017. And that's such a waste of time. Like this is the biggest problem I have with the AAA industry. Why was this team working on a game for, let's say, 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25? They're working on this game potentially for 8 years. And it's being canceled and everyone's fired. Like, that is such a waste of time and money. Like, no wonder they're losing money, because you were working on a project for 8 years and ended up canceling it. I hope. Oh man, I'm just so sad. I wonder if that means. Wait, does that mean they own Fear as well? Because they bought.
Yeah,
this is the same problem I have with, like, when Sony said you don't own any IPs. You own Fear. Like, Warner Brothers owns Fear, Condemned. Probably, actually, they probably don't own Blood, because that was 1997. Blood was actually a really good 90, like it was a Doom clone back, like, during that time before FPS was considered. But
that's the problem with the studio like this, especially when they have so many hands in all these different things. The second they decide, no, we're done, all those things, even if they were vaguely good or vaguely profitable, if they weren't up to their standards, they're not worth investing anymore. And what's worse is they will take them with them to the grave. So you'll never see those things, even if they weren't complete, even if there were more ideas, even if the teams behind it were still gung-ho to do more. Those will never see the light of day, which sucks. It's just one of the sad things about this kind of stuff. Oh well.
So PlayerFirstgames were, by the way, the people that made Multiverses.
Yeah, that's the one. Multiverses. Yeah, Player First. Thank you. But yeah, no, that's why we're doomed to lose all these games.
Okay.
Because
Alchem, you probably know more than I do when it comes to this. What did they mean by our key franchises, Game of Thrones? Who cares about Game of Thrones right now?
They really do think they can invest something with that. I don't know. Game of Thrones is done.
The Game of Thrones TV show is done, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not crazy, right? It's done, right?
they're either going to do some stories, some like side stories, or some stories of other characters, or maybe some other locations. I think that was in
Okay.
the works. I don't really know. I know that they still want to do DC as well, but apparently not Wonder Woman.
Yeah, apparently not Wonder Woman. I mean, DC. I'm sure there's stuff in DC that you could do. The problem is that like, I hope. First of all, I hope. What's the company that made all the Batman games? Because they made
Rock,
Suicide Squad.
Rocksteady.
I hope we know that their Rocksteady is working on a single player Batman or a single player game, and it's almost guaranteed to be another Batman game, which is great.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like I don't know.
We'll make it a live
There's
service
so
stuff.
much wasted potential with Warner Brothers. So much wasted potential. I'm happy that they got their hit with the Hogwarts Legacy because there hasn't been a really good Harry Potter game in a long time. And I understand people's hatred towards the Harry Potter franchise and all that type of stuff because, the person who made it is a terrible person, and I get that. But I'm glad that the people made the game made a good game, and the people who enjoy Harry Potter for what it is great. And I mean, someday maybe I'll even play it at some point. But it's okay. The lineup of their franchises they list: Harry Potter, Mortal Kombat, DC, and Game of Thrones. First of all, Mortal Kombat's a fighting game, guys. Like, I'm sorry, Alchem, like, out of us two, Alchem is the biggest fighting game fanboy, and I'm sure he understands. Mortal Kombat and fighting games are not going to be your flagship franchises unless not. And I want to rephrase that slightly. For your standards, because we know what Warner Brothers want, and Mortal Kombat isn't going to get that. Like, when Capcom is the biggest in the fighting game industry, basically, like, when someone says fighting game, there's two games that people often say that I find, and it's Street Fighter or Super Smash Brothers, right? Like, those are the two ones that basically everyone knows. And then their third one, to be fair, the third one is probably Mortal Kombat, probably. But it's I'm talking about the people who don't play fighting games.
Oh, okay. And
like, because what these bigger companies are going for are the people who aren't playing fighting games, because the fighting game community is going to buy every fighting game. Like, everyone knows this. But like, in order for the success that they want, they need to go outside of the fighting game community. And like, Mortal Kombat just isn't that game. And it's so weird because I feel like DC, like, I often forget that Warner Brothers owns DC because there's so little DC products. Like, Marvel has dominated when it comes to like the Marvel versus DC thing, and I'm not a huge fanboy of either. I just grew up watching more Batman stuff than the other stuff. I mean, I watched Batman for DC and I watched Spider-Man for Marvel. Like, those were the two things I watched. And when I was a kid, I didn't realize that there were two. Obviously, I didn't know there were two separate things, like companies. But like, it's just so interesting to see that I forget Warner Brothers owns DC because there's just so little things that come out. And like, I guess the most recent DC thing is Suicide Squad, right? So it's like,
like their biggest game, yeah.
Yeah. And everyone knew that game was going to be a failure. Like, literally everyone.
Yep. I mean, they tried to do something dumbass. What was it? Wasn't that like some subscription kind of based thing that they were trying to do? They're still trying to do that kind of thing.
I don't know.
Or like, I swear, I feel like Warner Brothers, specifically their gaming sector, someone is trying to be like, we need to make a subscription-based game that people will come in daily, that will still be pulling them in days on end, but they don't do anything to do that. Everything is just cut and dry, simple game design, beginning to end, nothing extra, and nothing that would pull people to want to continue. And so, surprise, surprise, no one ends up liking some of the games that they just I swear to God, like the idea is there. There is a little bit of promise, but they didn't really bother too much for anything to, like, no really good story, no really good like plot, no really good anything. At least lately, like Suicide Squad was one of their latest debacles.
Yeah.
Hell, they even
And
when they
multiverses.
had to, multiverses too. No real story. It's just like we're just doing a fighting game. Why? Reasons they're there somewhere. We trickle in little story tidbits there, but
I mean, for some reason, everyone is once again trying to fight Smash Brothers again. Like there's been like I feel like there's been this weird thing where periodically companies try to fight Nintendo at the Super Smash Brothers style fighting game, and basically everyone fails every time, and I don't know why they keep trying. Because like it's just not going to happen.
No, I mean Smash Bros picked the most unique thing ever, which is not really unique. It's just a mashup of all your stuff, but in a very condensed, well-designed, and well-put fighting mechanic system. And you just had the creative mind of Mashiro Sakurai, who just is for the creator of Kirby, made a really, really great story for Smash Bros. At least like for Brawl and stuff, and the Subspace Emissary and stuff.
Yeah.
And at this point, people see him, if they see him put a Smash Bros. Game and they're like, oh, it's going to be good, no matter what.
Yeah. I mean, the weird thing is that all the other fighting games always try to go into the fighting game aspect of it, like the competition part. And Smash Brothers just doesn't care about that. And I feel like that's kind of a disconnect between a lot of the people making these games, is that they're always going for the hardcore base, but the hardcore base isn't going to stay with you.
I mean, they're just the tournament goers, and the tournament goers will tell you how the game should be, but that doesn't make it a good
the majority
game.
of players don't play like that.
Yeah.
Like the majority of people who play Smash Brothers are like me, who they walk up to you and play Kirby. And so I up B and down B nonstop.
Yeah. As long as they don't listen to the hardcore gamer aspect to make a fighting game, just listen to what people generally want with a game, and you will make a decent fighting game. As long as the core mechanics of like the fighting game system, like a block system, like a combat system, anything like that, as long as that's there, then people will play.
Yeah.
As long as you seem to have a heart, so to speak.
Yeah, it's just so weird. It's just so weird.
Right.
I hope Hogwarts Legacy 2 does well, because we know that they're working on that. And I know the new Mortal Kombat game did fine, if I remember correctly. It's not doing well in terms of, like, apparently, like, the actual fighting game community didn't really like Mortal Kombat, the newest one, but, like, the casual community really loved it because there was a lot of single-player content, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, arcade modes and stuff like that. I hope the new Batman game that Rocksteady is working on is going to be good. And I just hope Warner Brothers realizes that DC is more than Batman. Like, actually, wait a minute. But the voice actor for Batman passed away. Oh god, that's going to be interesting.
They were never gonna retire Batman just because
No, but I know that, but like it's gonna be interesting how different it's going to be. I wonder who they choose. I would not envy who they choose, because there's going to be so many comparisons. And I'm definitely. And honestly, like, while I loved his version of Batman, most versions of Batman I actually really liked, honestly. At least in terms of the cartoon versions. The movie ones are kind of like weird.
I'm just going to predict this now and call it. You know how you mentioned people will compare?
Yeah.
Someone's going to compare them, and they're going to use AI to have...
100%.
They'll take the new game, take the voice lines that the Batman of that game does with the new voice actor, and then just have the AI use the Markham.
Yeah, probably
for it. Like I know someone's going to be like that, and they're going flack for it because
it's also going to be terrible. It's going to be disrespectful and terrible. Like, all the AI voices suck.
Yep. But it's going to happen.
Yeah, so I hope they... I am not trying to defend the billion-dollar company, but I hope they get their act together, because I just want them to make good video games. Why has that become such a hard thing to do for the AAA gaming industry, man? It's so weird. And it's because, good video games don't make billions of dollars, apparently. But hopefully they figure it out at some point. And I was actually kind of interested in the Wonder Woman game, honestly. Just because I wanted to know what it was, but I guess we'll never find out. Maybe something will get leaked at some point. We'll see. Speaking of AI voices, actually, Alchem, did you hear about...
I give you a segue.
Did you hear about the Apex Legends voice actors?
No, what happened there?
So, I'll read you the headline, because over 30 Apex Legends voice actors refused to sign an agreement that would see them give up our expertise to train the generative AI that will replace us tomorrow.
Why would you sign?
Exactly.
Why would you sign the rights to lose your job?
So basically, what happened is the French voice actors for all the Apex Legends were given a contract from EA. Oh, okay. I should actually, let me, before I continue on this, I should say none of this has been technically confirmed because the voice actor who voices Wraith for the French voice has not said any names. They've not named anything. They haven't said anything. But the thing is herself and 31 other people have talked about this. And the only thing all of them have in common is Apex Legends. So it's very clear, but they obviously don't want to say names and stuff like that. And they can't give details because it is contract, so it's legal stuff. And there's lawyers involved, obviously, now, too. So, yeah, I should say that none of this is technically 100% not true. Not, confirmed, is what I'm trying to say. But, so the voice actor for Wraith and 31 of her colleagues have refused the new contract. Because in the contract, it says that they are going to use your voice to train a generative AI. And obviously, all of them said no. Yeah. And it's just...
Imagine just doing all this, whatever journey you went to get a career as a voice actor, only to be offered a paper saying, hey, sell us the rights to your voice. So we can use forever, in perpetuity, for whatever purpose we want, and never have to give you back.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not. It's a mockery.
Yeah, and especially for the voice actors, because there's literally a strike going on right now against this type of stuff. I think the funniest thing is that this is the biggest EA move. This is the biggest EA. We don't understand what's going on around us at all.
They just have no heart. EA does not give a flying and crap about it.
Yeah,
they will literally want you to sell the rights to your voice, to your persona, image, quick buck out of it without ever having to pay you back.
Yeah,
or ever having to pay you at all afterwards. They will do so, and those will be the voices they will use forever. And they'll just use the AI to change it up a bit.
I mean, especially with EA, because of how comically evil they've been the past couple months. Because have you heard how comically evil they've been with some of the statements their CEO has been saying?
I swear to God, it's over the years I've noticed a lot of these gaming corporations they're cartoonishly evil, not Saturday morning cartoon. I'm talking Looney Tunes.
Yeah, literally Looney Tunes.
Those kind of
Because let me tell you some quotes by EA's CEO Andrew Wilson. EA laterally states to aim to use AI as quickly as possible. So this is why everyone's pretty sure this is EA talking about them. And then he also stated, like I said, comically evil. Large systematic changes is required after the games didn't hit its microtransaction targets. Comically evil statements. I mean, this is also after they fired basically everyone from the Dragon Age team. from BioWare, and I feel like BioWare, and unfortunately, whenever the new Mass Effect game comes out, I'm sure, unfortunately, we'll be talking about how the game was fine, but everyone was fired. So it's gonna suck because we know it's gonna happen because Mass Effect isn't gonna sell enough. Like the problem is that no matter how good Mass Effect is going to be, I don't think people are okay with supporting EA. Like there's, I think, a significant amount of people that are just gonna not buy EA games. We'll see if
EA now dead set on like they don't care about game sales anymore. They care more about how they can prolong continuous purchases of either like
it's
expansion
microtransactions.
packs or microtransactions.
Well,
Yeah.
that's why BioWare is not gonna live because they don't make live service games, and
No,
they don't make gambling games, which are the sports games basically.
Mm-hmm.
So they are. I feel bad for it, and I feel bad for anyone who's a fan of the Dragon Age games and the Mass Effect games, because I honestly feel like these are the latest Dragon Age the Velguard, and the new Mass Effect game. I feel like that's going to be the last games of those franchises for a very long time. Hopefully, because if their new game does come out soon, it's going to be not what you want. Because it's going to be a game that they need, because the game needs to be microtransaction filled, and it needs to be a game where it constantly wants your attention. So generally multiplayer games. And like I've heard good things about the Mass Effect multiplayer, to be fair, but it's not going to be what EA wants probably. So yeah, it's not looking good for them.
This is, I mean, I've said it before. This is the general direction that the gaming atmosphere is going towards. Microtransactions and
well, AAA, I should say. Like, we should say AAA.
Yeah. The problem is those kind of things start to leak over to eventually to the smaller ones, unless the smaller ones can't do what the AAA does, or it's very clear and obvious that no, this doesn't work. And continuous, like the continuous need to see success in microtransactions is not something small devs are looking for. They're not looking for that kind of thing.
I mean, unless you're like, no, never mind. Just keep going. Keep going.
No, it's no, and the only reason I even say that for small devs, it's just a team of like from sometimes it can be 1 to maybe like 50 or maybe 100.
Yeah,
and all they do is just the simple concept of one good game with a really fun premise, and all it takes is just enough people to notice and spread word of mouth, and there you go. They just need that kind of success. They don't need a continuous game that never ends. Buy stuff from they don't need.
I mean, they don't have shareholders. They don't have shareholders. They don't have to please shareholders.
Exactly. They're not. Yeah.
They don't have to constantly see the line go up. The line doesn't have to constantly go up for them. It'd be nice if it does, but it doesn't have to constantly go up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's why like companies like Larian Studio to me are just like, I hope they have a good future. I hope they don't become like a Blizzard or a oh god, what's the company that made Witcher and Cyberpunk?
Oh god. Studio Red.
Yeah. I hope they don't become like that, because they really are like the AA indie darlings right now in terms of studios. It's hard to say that they're indie, but like they really are like the one of the big bastions of this is how you're supposed to run a gaming company. They make good games every couple years, and sometimes you get a huge hit like Baldur's Gate 3, and sometimes you get decent hits like oh god, what are the other 2 games that they made? Divinity Original Sin 1 and 2. Like all 3 of those games are good games. One of them, like Baldur's Gate 3, made a massive amount of money and sold crazy amounts of copies. But it's not like Dragon Age or Divinity Original Sin 1 and 2 weren't successful. They were successful, and I'm very interested in the next game they're going to make. And it's going to suck when people try to compare it to Baldur's Gate 3, because it's not going to be the same game. It's just like the same thing about this is going slightly off of it's kind of the same on topic with big companies being idiots. I as you know, Alchem, I'm a huge nerd. So I follow Wizard of the Coast and Hasbro a lot because of Dungeons and Dragons, because that's the company who owns D&D. And they've been saying so many things, Alchem, that makes me sad, because they're saying it in corporate terms, but they want to recreate the success of Baldur's Gate 3, which you just can't do. Like, Baldur's Gate 3 is a flash in the pan success, and there was a lot of good. It was the right game at the right time with the right studio, with the right amount of patience. You know what I mean? You can't make Baldur's Gate 3 again.
No, not at all.
And that's proven to you. It's the reason it's been proven to me is because Larian Studios isn't making Baldur's Gate 4, because they can't do it again, and they know they can't do it again. Because what can you do for Baldur's Gate 4? They were going to work on DLC, and they decided not to because they didn't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't expand on that concept.
It's lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
You can't channel lightning in a bottle. You really can't.
It's an amazing game, but you can't do it twice.
Yeah.
You gotta, and my biggest problem with like D&D is that all their video games suck other than Baldur's Gate 3, basically. And I just think it's wasted potential. But I think unfortunately, they learned the wrong lessons in Baldur's Gate 3, I feel like. Now I'm sad, Alchem, because I started talking about D&D.
Hey, look, you're the one looking at critical information and sad news.
It's true. Okay, Alchem. For my final
happy news. Yeah.
Yes, for my final story, I have a happy news story. Because I can't remember if we talked about this. Did we talk about Balatro and its rating?
Oh yeah, no, we have the good news of Balatro. Yeah.
Yes, because Balatro is no longer PEGI 18. It is back down to PEGI 12. Which is great.
Tooth and nail for that one, though.
The developer fought really hard for this change.
Mm-hmm. And this is big, because this means his game can sell a lot more to the correct audience. Because it's just a fun game. It's not gambling. It's literally just poker. The game.
It's just poker. Poker isn't gambling.
No. It never was. It's just synonymous with gambling.
I understand. Yeah, I can understand at surface value that. Like, okay, at surface value, poker equals gambling, sure. But the problem is that there's games with PEGI 12 that have literal slots in them. Mm-hmm. Like, literal gambling slots. So, like, you gotta be consistent. Like, if Balatro needs a PEGI 18, every sports game in existence needs to have PEGI 18. Every mobile game needs to have PEGI 18.
You want to know what's funny? I'm surprised that never sparked the conversation. That never started the whole, hey, wait a minute, if this game isn't this, how, and you don't have gambling or anything, why don't we get so-and-so? Probably EA just stepped in and said, shut the fuck up.
And, Alchem, on that, it actually has. Because apparently the PEGI system is looking into redefining what they mean by gambling.
Ah, okay, good.
So, yeah, okay, so on the base, okay, so at this moment, any teaching or glamorization of simulated gambling automatically leads to a PEGI 18 rating, the rating board stated. On the basis of these appeals, the PEGI expert groups will develop a more granular set of classifications, criteria, to handle gambling themes and the simulation, teaching, glamorization of gambling in different age categories, which will now include 12, but also keep 18 as an age category for the games that simulate gambling typically played in casinos and betting halls. So basically, this made it so if you have things that can be associated with gambling, like for instance, cards and poker hands, it will say that will be put on the rating system, but it will be still a 12 rating, basically. So there's still a warning that, hey, if you don't want anything to do with anything that even closely resembles gambling, it's going to be on the PEGI 18 thing. So it's different. So we're going to see, unfortunately, I don't think this means that the sports games and stuff are going to have any of that stuff on there, because they don't have traditional things of gambling. Because the reason Balatro has this is because it has a deck of cards. And unfortunately, that's literally all that they needed to have initially. And it's... Okay. Like I said, positive, it's an amazing first step. You know? Like, this is what we have to do. Like, I think this is a good first step in terms of, like, getting all these gambling mechanics situated. Because, like, I'm not against these types of things, you know? But it is kind of messed up that a lot of these games are targeted towards, like, all the sports games. You want, like, 10-year-olds to play it, and you're literally promoting casino games. Just hidden. It's just secret casino games. You know? It's just like gacha games. Like, it's why I have, like, a love-hate relationship with, like, all the Hoyoverse games. Because they're so heavily promoted to kids, and what they're promoting is basically gambling. And it's yeah. But it's like, I don't know. I'm not against these games. I'm against promoting them to kids or the younger audience. Because if they had an age rating of, like, of the 18 plus or the 16 plus or something, just something, you know, like a warning or something like that. I don't know. Maybe this is the old man shaking my fist at the sky at this point. I feel like we'll see.
What fist?
I can shake myself. Depending on the form, I do have a fist, to be fair. Alchem, you've seen my emotes. I have hands. They're just in me right now.
Hey.
All right, Alchem. Do your shoutouts.
Okay. And, well, ladies and gentlemen, those watching on the stream, we've reached the end of the podcast. You've heard all these sad or somewhat good, somewhat bad, somewhat very, very soul-crushing stories. And I am the co-host of the Two Buds One podcast, the Alchem. You can catch me over on my Twitch channel, which if you're watching the live stream, you're watching it now, so thank you. And those who aren't, if you're watching it on YouTube through Jelly's channel, my name, again, Alchem. On Twitch, I'm Alchem Games, where I play a wide variety of different games, streaming it both on YouTube and Twitch. And if you ever want to just catch me to see what my streams are all about, feel free to pop in then. And yeah, you can always catch my antics or stuff that I post or agree with or whatever I'd like over on Twitter, as well as clips and highlights over on YouTube and TikTok. But yeah, for those who have been watching, if you do enjoy my stuff, you know how to support. If you don't, I guess crash course time. There's on Twitch subs, donation stuff, PayPal, coffee, all that other stuff. You get the drill. You have all those different methods. But more importantly, just pop in, watch, enjoy, talk, do whatever. If you just want to support and just have fun. And, well, and as always, you can always catch me on Sundays, usually on Sundays, unless stuff happens, with my buddy, the Techno Jelly, here, who hosts the podcast. Take it away,
yes. Jelly. Also, all of his stuff are linked in the description as well. You have to remember to add that.
Oh, yeah.
They're linked in the description of this video of the podcast as well. Hello, I am the Techno Jelly. You are on my channel, most likely, if you're watching this on YouTube. Please subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it if you do. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers, and once I do, I'll be doing a Q&A video. So if you'd like to see that, please subscribe and check all the stuff I do out. If you'd like to support the podcast directly, I have a Patreon account at the Techno Jelly. You'll be seeing before and after scenes, extra scenes as the podcast. Today, that before scenes was me just going through so many stories, and I actually cut out a bunch of stories because I didn't want to, like I said in the beginning, I didn't want to do too many stories, and I wanted to get the best ones, and I think I got the best ones of the ones that I wanted to talk about. So yeah, if you'd like to follow me on other platforms, I stream now on Twitch at nighttime EST just because I can. Now I do not multi-stream on Twitch anymore, or multi-stream to YouTube and Twitch. So if you want to check out the streams, go over to Twitch. If you want to check out the videos, go on to YouTube. If you'd like to check me on other social media platforms, I have a Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, TikTok, Threads. If you'd like to check me out on any of those platforms. Thank you everyone for watching. this episode of Two Buds One Podcast, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye, everyone. Nice. You didn't say later, guys.
All right. I'm so mentally dead. But later, guys.
All right, I'm keeping that in. I'm keeping that in.
24-hour stream killed me. No.
That whole section is
no.
that's not being edited.